Having said that, I mean, we're in the second half now, or coming up to the second half now of 2020. So is 2021 really that far away? We know Joshua's got to take care of Pulev. We know that Fury has got to take care of Wilder second time around. I don't see any problems there for Fury. I think Joshua will take care of Pulev. So then that takes us into 2021. And I think that with Dillian White initiating the legal proceedings, I think what's going to happen is that Fury's going to have to fight him in the first half of 2021 if he's not made franchise. And we know that Bob Arum wants him to be franchised. We know that Bob Arum wanted Lomachenko to be franchised, and Lomachenko became franchised. We know that Bob Arum has indicated that if Dillian White pushes it, then he'll pretty much force Fury to become franchise. So I think I can take Bubba's word on that. If Fury beats Deontay Wilder, expect Fury to be franchise. And then Dillian White, they're not going to make it easy for him. They're not going to announce Dillian White to the WBC champ. No, they're going to give him a fight. Who are they going to pick? I don't think Deontay Wilder is going to fight him. I don't think Deontay Wilder would accept the fight with Dillian White to become champion again. I don't think he'd do it. I really don't. So who then does Dillian White fight? Because I don't think they're going to give him a pass. I don't think they're going to make him champ. I'm not sure he'd want to be made champ. I think he'd probably want to fight for it. So who would he fight then? That's a hell of a question. But I don't think it would be Deontay Wilder, because I don't think he'd accept it. John D. Lee?
If they made Tyson Fury franchise champion, AJ Tyson is not the undisputed fight, which I think it then loses a lot of shine for AJ.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And then so they're basically losing more money than they can cope with if they do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're talking about the biggest purses in the history of boxing, aren't we, for this?
In which case, you say that, and we've said it before, in which case, if that's the case, if Tyson, and it makes sense, if Tyson Fury accepts franchise or gets franchise or becomes franchise, then that takes away like you say, that takes away from the undisputed, because it's not really undisputed. Some people say it's still undisputed, but another man will hold the belt. Another man will hold the belt, and that man will.
The whole point of undisputed, there's no one who can dispute that you're number one.
Right.
Now, if Dillian's got the WBC belt, that is a dispute. You know, there's somebody else in the division who can call themselves a champion.
Yeah.
Whatever you think about how good he is as a champion is irrelevant. It's not undisputed. On top of that, you can't lose a franchise championship in the ring.
Yeah.
So AJ's not fighting for Tyson's belt anyway.
Haha. So does he
He just keeps his own belts. So why is AJ not going to make the in-house fight with Dillian?
Yeah. And and then Fury's not 50-50. Fury's not 50-50 because he's bringing less to the table.
Exactly. So I actually think they're going to fight him.
So in that analysis, now that we've chopped it up like that, then it would make more sense for Tyson Fury, after beating Deontay Wilder, which I fully expect him to do. It would make more sense for Tyson Fury to hold on to the WBC strap, fight Dillian White in the first half of 2021, and then the table's set for. And then while he's fighting Dillian White, Anthony Joshua's fighting Alexander Usyk in the first half of 2021. Or Derek Chisora. So Anthony Joshua is then fighting one of those guys. He's a WBO mandatory, who at the moment is Alexander Usyk. But if he fights Chisora and Chisora wins, then obviously that becomes a Chisora. But most people are thinking it's going to be Usyk, so let's stick with Usyk for the argument's sake. So Anthony Joshua fights Usyk after beating Pulev. If he beats Pulev, then he fights Usyk. If he beats Usyk, then that takes him into the second half of 2021. In the first half of 2021, Tyson Fury should be fighting Dillian White. If the legal thing goes through nicely, Tyson Fury will be fighting Dillian White if he doesn't accept franchise. Now, we have the second half of 2021, where Tyson Fury is the WBC champion of the Ring magazine belt holder, and Anthony Joshua is the WBA, WBO, IBF, IBO belt holder, unified champion. And that means in the second half of 2021, ladies and gentlemen, we will have an undisputed heavyweight champion. You heard it here on Rafael Dawkins Combat Radio, John Daly.
And think about it. If they've cleared out Pulev and Usyk and Dillian White and Wilder again, when those two fight, who's going to question the winner's the best in the division?
Who's going to question it? Nobody can question it.
You can't question it, can you?
No. Yes. So come what may, by the second half of 2021, ladies and gentlemen, I think we could be looking at the players out like I think he's going to play out. We will be looking at a unified, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. How sweet it is. It's not going to be that long away. How sweet that would be. Okay, Ebbs, African friend. That's why Tyson is avoiding the body snatcher, the body shots. Interesting proposition. Body shots.
I think it's another reason.
Yeah, the body shots will let us know whether a weightlifter's body or a Fabi body holds up. What was you going to say, John?
Well, actually, if you go back to the Wallin fight and you watch other fights by Tyson's susceptible to left hand.
Yes.
And that's a very good reason to avoid Dillian White.
Yeah, for sure. Not just the body, but the left hand. They're talking about Wallin. Wallin went down to the body. Wallin got good success with the body work before he cut Tyson, and then he changed his game plan. He went head happy, and that's where he messed up. But Wallin was having good success with Tyson Fury's body. We can't forget that.
Like I pointed out for AJ, going to Tyson's body is always going to be a good idea because
it's going to pay dividends.
Tyson's not. He might be able to throw hurtful punches, but he's not a knockout artist.
No.
So you need to press him and hurt him to the body. Otherwise, you're going to be eating jabs all night. And if you can throw some left hooks in there to his head as well at the same time, for me, that's the way to beat Tyson. Now, I don't think it's an easy thing to do because I don't think Tyson's taking after Wallin seriously.
Fuzzy says AJ is going to beat Fury. Trust me. Tyson's two best wins are a bum and the guy who didn't punch back. Yeah, that's true. AJ goes to war if he wants, and we have seen that he can box. Indeed, he can. AJ's jab beats anyone. Surely Fury's the best jabber in the game. Is he? Okay.
No.
Fury's not the best heavyweight jabber.
No, so Fury is the best at one type of jab, which is the Ali type of jab, with no real pop on it. AJ's got a better stiff jab, and AJ hooks nicely off the jab as well, very nicely. Fury's got an excellent scoring jab that's fast, and he's got tremendous reach. So those are great attributes.
Yeah.
But when have you ever seen him really hurt someone with a jab?
That's a good point.
He hasn't got a stiff jab. But see, yeah, that's the one I'm on about. So he's just flicking his wrist.
Yeah, it's going to come up again. It's going to be intermittent.
That is not a good jab to me. That's not a good jab. I'm sorry.
Damn, Tyson, what you doing?
And that is how he throws it, though.
Put your gloves on properly, mate.
For me, that is not a technically good jab. And Tyson isn't a technically good puncher. What he is he's got tremendously good footwork and an incredible ring IQ.
Yeah,
he's very good at reading his opponents.
Very much so.
And he's the biggest out of all of them.
Yeah, he is. Biggest and longest.
Yeah, so, he's got a lot going for him. But his punching technique's poor.
Yeah. So who's got the best jab at heavyweight, do you reckon?